Sanctum Mysteries. Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum. This is your host, welcoming you in through the squeaking door. Come in, see my latest collection of corpses. I've dug up some very interesting pieces, but of course I had to pay a stiff price. This petrified man, for instance, he's over 100 years old. They found him in a forest. That's right. Aged in the woods.
My goodness, do you expect folks to believe nonsense like that?
Oh, but it's true, Mary. Look over here at this artist model. The last time she posed for a sketch, she was drawn and quartered. The artist wanted to paint her with her head in her hands, but he didn't have the nerve to axe her. So he sawed her in half.
What an imagination you have.
You don't believe me. All right. I'm not going to show you my corpse collection anymore. This is the last time.
Well, I don't believe that either.
Tonight's story is called Dead Man's Debt. It's an original radio play by Robert Newman. And our star tonight is Joseph Julian, who plays the role of Danny. The corner cell in the courthouse jail. Stone walls, stone floor, and a hard cot. Lying on the cot, huddled under the blanket, is Danny Gorman. His eyes are closed and his breathing is regular. But even he is not sure whether he's asleep or awake. For he's listening to a voice. A voice he's heard quite often during the past few weeks. And a voice he shouldn't be able to hear. A voice of a dead man.
Are you sleeping, Danny? Don't. It's a waste of time. A real waste. You'll be sleeping for a long, long time, very soon. When you're dead like I am.
No.
Yes, Danny. Did you think you were going to get away with it? You won't. You'll pay. And soon.
No, I said no. Shut up, or you're wrong.
What's the trouble in here? What are you making all that racket for? Better pull yourself together and get moving. Waiting for you downstairs, court's in session.
All right, don't rush me. I'm coming.
I'm not rushing you. Sure glad to be rid of you. Glad you won't be coming back here again.
What? What do you mean?
They'll wind up your case this morning. Hand down a verdict before lunch. 2 to 1, they do it without leaving the jury box. And 10 to 1, it's guilty.
Gentlemen of the jury, have you reached a verdict?
We have?
Prisoner will rise and face the jury.
Go on, Danny. Stand up.
What is your verdict?
Not guilty.
Right. You mean? What a riot. I should have taken him up on it. 10 to 1 he wanted to give me the jury, but it send me up. But I knew it. I knew you would.
Order, Mr. Russell. You quiet your client?
I apologize, Your Honor, but as you can imagine, he's been under considerable strain. Take it easy, Danny.
Danny. Oh, Danny.
Well, Gail, how you, baby?
I knew it too, Danny. I knew they'd let you go. They had to.
Hope you don't mind coming here to celebrate. It's not very fancy, but, well, this is where they picked me up, put the cuffs on me. I'm kind of sentimental about it.
Perfectly all right.
Here's to you, Russell. You did a swell job getting me off.
Well, thank you. I had probably done better if I didn't have a conscience.
How come?
I was assigned to your case. I had to defend you. And I did the best job I could. But it was a little hard to put my heart in it when I knew you were guilty. Not of the murder you were charged with, but another one.
What?
Is that supposed to be funny, Mr. Russell?
It's not, Gail. Danny was charged with the murder of Carson, a well-known jeweler, whose body was found a few miles from his country house. Danny was seen in the vicinity in the company of Stack Allen, a man with a long criminal record. Now, if you remember, there were just 3 things that saved Danny. 1, the fact that Carson was thought to have a valuable diamond on him. Danny didn't have the diamond, and it hasn't been found yet. 2, Carson was shot with a .45. Danny's gun was a .38. And 3, Stack Allen has disappeared. Now, on the basis of these 3 facts, I was able to convince the jury that it was Stack who killed Carson and took the diamond. as a matter of fact, that's what I think did happen.
Well?
The DA made one mistake. He charged you with a wrong murder. I don't believe you killed Carson, but I do think you killed Stack Allen.
That's ridiculous. Danny, tell him it's not true. Tell him.
Shut up. What are you going to do about it?
Nothing. I'm not a policeman. I'm an attorney.
You're lying.
No. You see, basically, I have great respect for the law. I believe that even though it sometimes makes mistakes, it generally corrects them. I think it'll catch up with you. In the meantime, well, that's the matter of my services. Since I saved your life, I figure you owe me a good deal.
Don't worry about that. I'll pay you.
Yes? How?
Never mind that. I said I'd pay you.
You don't have the money now. I know that. If you wanted me to, I could probably help you.
I don't want any help from you or anyone else. I said I'd pay you, and I will. Come on, Gail. Let's get out of here.
Are you sleeping again, Danny? That's a mistake. A waste of time. You'll be sleeping for a long, long time when you're dead like I am.
Stack, no, leave me alone.
I can't, Danny. Not until you pay for what you did to me. And you will pay for that. And soon.
Who's that? Who's there?
It's me, Danny. Gail.
Oh. Okay, just a second.
Hello, Danny.
Hi.
Starting to get a little worried about you. Are you all right?
Sure, I'm all right. What is there to worry about?
Well, it's been a week since I saw you. I've been hearing things. That you were hanging around with the old gang again. With Frankie.
So what?
You mean it's true? Danny, you shouldn't. You know what almost happened would have happened if it hadn't been for Mr. Russell.
Russell.
You wouldn't be here now if it wasn't for him. Danny, you said you were going straight, and instead, he wanted to help you, remember?
How are you, Danny?
Russell, what are you doing here? Look, if you're worried about your dough, I told you I'd pay you.
I never said anything about money, Danny. And I'm not worried about being paid. I'm a firm believer in balancing accounts. We pay for everything we do.
What are you driving at?
You killed Stack Allen for the diamond you took from Carson. But you never got the diamond. Suppose I help you find it.
What? How do you know where it is?
I don't know. I'm only guessing. But if you show me where you buried Stack's body, I think maybe we can find it together.
You're just trying to trap me. Tag me with Stack's murder.
I told you I was an attorney, not a policeman.
Okay. Okay, I'll take a chance on it. Get your car, I'll show you. Go easy now. Turn off there to the left.
Into the woods?
Yeah. Just a little further. All right, go slow. Okay, now stop.
I think you'd better stay here, Gail. It's not going to be very pleasant.
No, it's all right. I'll come.
Just as you like. Now, tell me again just how it happened, Danny.
Well, we drove down here after we knocked Carson off to decide just what we're going to do. I had a feeling Stack was going to plug me so he wouldn't have to split with me. I decided to beat him to it. He went over there. He sat down on that log. And he was playing with his ear the way he used to, pulling on it. I let him have it. I searched him, but I couldn't find the diamond.
What did you do with the body?
I dug a deep hole right there. I dumped him in it, and I piled wood on it, and then built a fire. And after it burned down, I covered it up.
Okay. Let's get the shovels out of the car and start digging.
Hey, my shovel hit something. I think it's him.
Gail, will you go back to the car?
No, I'm going to stay. I just won't look.
There he is. At least his bones.
Put your shovel under his skull and lift it carefully.
Hey, the diamond. The diamond's lying right underneath him. How did you know?
I didn't. I told you I was guessing. You saw him take it from Carson, knew he had it with him, but you couldn't find it when you searched him. You mentioned that when he was thinking, he had a way of playing with his ear.
His ear, of course. That was it. He hid it in his ear. Maybe he figured I was going to stick him up or something. Maybe. Anyway, I got it now. We're rich, you hear, Gail? We're rich.
Yes, I hear.
What are you looking at me for that way?
Danny, I loved you for a long time. Even when I knew there were things wrong with you. I stuck with you through the trial because I thought you were innocent. That you hadn't killed Carson. Now I hate you.
I stood trial. I got off, didn't I? I paid for the diamond. And now it's mine.
Yes, Danny. It's yours. But you haven't paid for it. You're only going to start paying for it.
And now, friends, back to the story of Danny Gorman, who was tried for the wrong murder and who's found, so far at least, that crime does pay, and very nicely, too. It's about an hour later now, and a car with 3 very silent people in it has just reached the outskirts of the town.
What's the matter with you two, anyway? What are you sitting there like a pair of mummies for? Why don't you say something?
I said everything I had to there in the woods, Danny.
I've got nothing to say.
No, nothing at all. We're trying for a lily act now, Russell. Don't forget, you're in this as deep as... Hey, wait a minute. Stop right here. Yeah, that's right. In front of that hock shop.
Where are you going?
Inside to see a friend. Might just as well get the dough to pay you off right now. And I won't have to listen anymore to your double talk. Hello, Finney.
Well, Danny. Haven't seen you in a long time. And I didn't think I'd ever be seeing you again.
How come?
Yeah, I thought that anybody who just beaten a murder rap would have sense enough to keep in the clear. Not get mixed up with anything hot. Or is this a social visit?
Not exactly. Take a look at this.
It's a very nice diamond. Very nice indeed.
What's it worth?
Well, you really want to know what it's worth? You want to know what I'll give you for it?
What's the difference?
A great deal. It's worth, let me take another look at it. Yes, it's worth $10,000, maybe $12,000. I'll give you $2,000 for it.
What? Why, you, what's the idea?
It's very simple, Danny. You were tried for Carson's murder, and you got off because you had a good lawyer and because there wasn't enough evidence. But if you were tried again, right now, you wouldn't do so well. Because this is the very best kind of evidence right here. You see, I happen to know that this is Carson's diamond.
Yeah?
Yes, Danny. That means that you wouldn't dare take it to anybody else. It wouldn't be wise for you even to take it out of this shop. And that's why it's very generous of me to offer you $1,500 for it.
$1,500? But you just said... Okay, Finney. Take the diamond, give me the dough.
That's very sensible of you, Danny. Come back tomorrow about the same time.
Nothing doing. I'm taking a powder out of town. I want the dough right now.
All right, Danny. Wait out there, and I'll get it for you. $7, 21, 4, and there we are.
Sorry, it had to be a knife, Finney.
Danny, you... That...
Couldn't take a chance with a gun, not with my friends outside. Shouldn't have driven such a hard bargain. Because now I'm not only going to take the diamond back, I'm going to take every cent you got in the safe. After all, it won't do you any good anymore.
All right.
Yeah, let's get going.
You seem quite pleased with yourself.
Why shouldn't I be? Get rid of the diamond, and I finally got my hands on some real dough. I can pay you off now. What do I owe you?
I told you, Danny. A great deal. Your life.
Okay, don't build it up. What do you want in cash?
I never said anything about money, Danny. There is something I want. When the right time comes, I think I'll get it.
Me, Danny. Frankie.
Oh, just a second. Hiya, Frankie.
Fine. A little worried about how you were.
Me? How come?
That little job last night. Said you wanted to get in on it, and you never showed up. Thought maybe you were sick or something.
Oh, that, No. It was just that, well, I changed my mind.
Yeah?
Yeah, I kind of thought it over. I decided, I better stay in the clear. Go straight from now on.
That's smart, Danny. Real smart.
Yeah, I think so. How'd it go?
Smooth as silk. We ended up with stuff worth, 3 or 4 G's anyway.
Yeah, swell.
Yeah. It's only after it was all over that we ran into something kind of funny.
What was that?
Well, the stuff was kind of hot, and we thought we ought to unload right away, so we went down to Finney's. You know, the fence.
Yeah.
We got there, it didn't seem like there was anyone around. I took a gander in the back room, and you won't believe this, but the safe was open. Cleaned out. There was Finney, dead.
What? Well, have any idea who did it?
I don't know. He'd been knifed. Whoever got him left in such a hurry they forgot to take the knife with them. I got it right here.
Let's see it.
No, don't touch it, Danny. You might get your fingerprints on it, and that'd be bad. I said don't touch it. I'll try any monkey tricks or I'll bash you for keeps. So you were going straight, eh? You mealy-mouthed double-crosser. Where's the diamond?
What are you talking about?
Don't give me that. You think I know your knife when I say it? There's only one reason you'd go to see Finney. To cash in on that diamond you and Stack took from Carson. Well, I want it.
Okay. Okay, Frankie, you can have it. I've been having nothing but tough luck ever since I first laid eyes on it. It's over there in my bureau, hidden under my socks. I'll get it for you.
You're starting to show some sense.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
More sense than to let you leave here knowing what you know. Now, get my friend the lawyer down here. Everything will be hunky-dory. You sure got down here fast, Russell. Hey, what's the idea?
Bringing Gail with me? I thought she might be interested in anything you might have to say to me. You said something about another case?
Yeah. Look over there, in the corner.
Oh.
Frankie Ring. And he's dead.
You killed him?
Yeah. It was self-defense. So he came down here to get me to go out on a job with him. I told him I wouldn't, that I was going straight, and he pulled a gun. There it is in his hand. See? I got my own robbed in the bureau, and, well, that was that. Sound okay?
Fine.
You know, it ain't going to be easy, I know. Me coming up for a second murder rap. But you can get me off. I got plenty of dough this time. I can really pay. The thing is, what do we do first?
We don't do anything, Danny. There are a lot of things you can do. My suggestion is that you call the police. Give yourself up.
What? You mean you're not going to take this case?
No, Danny.
Why not? You fronted for me the last time.
Yes, Danny, and I told you why. I was assigned the case, couldn't turn it down. Besides, you were being tried for the wrong murder. But this time it won't be the wrong murder. It'll be the right one. This is the one I said was finally going to catch up with you.
I see. Is your car downstairs by any chance?
Yes. Why?
I'm starting to feel a little restless. Let's go places. Go ahead, march.
Danny, what are you going to do?
Are you kidding? You know about Stack and about Freddie. Somehow I don't think I'd sleep so good knowing that you knew. But besides that, there's one more you don't know about, Finney. I got him yesterday while you were waiting in the car. After your first three, they started to come easy, even dames. We're going to take a little ride together. But I got a feeling we're not all of us coming back. Keep driving till I tell you to stop.
Right.
You're taking this awful quiet, the two of you. Maybe you don't think I'm going to go through with it.
Oh, I think you intend to, all right. Whether you will or not is another story. So is the reason I'm taking it this way. Maybe this is as good a time as any to tell you a few things. Why I took your case in the first place.
Well?
It was because of Carson. He was my father's best friend. Kind of a second father. He who put me through law school. When he was murdered, I made up my mind to get to the bottom of it, find out who killed him. I didn't think it was you, and it wasn't. You were involved. And I knew that if I helped you get what the murder was committed for, the diamond, eventually you'd pay for the murder you committed. Well, now, you've got not one, but 3 murders to pay for.
What are you stopping for?
Railroad crossing. There's a train coming. Can't you hear the bell?
Told you to keep going till I said for you to stop.
Okay. Hey, what's the idea? Stall the car.
Yeah. To make sure it stays stalled, I'll just take these keys.
Stanley, we're right on the track.
Yeah. This is it. You fell in love, see? You ran away together, smacked into the train. Now, don't try to do it. They're locked. I'll just wait over here and make sure everything goes the way it should.
Well, dear.
Somehow I'm not frightened. And I don't care.
Hey, my foot! My foot! It's caught! The train! It's not coming down your track. It's coming down this one. Hey, Russell! Here, help me! Help!
Nancy.
Yes. He was on the wrong track. Then he'd been on the wrong track for a long time.
John, what was it you said before about why you took the case? Was it true?
Yes.
You always talked about payment, about something you wanted.
I wanted justice. And I also wanted something else. Someone Danny had at first and then lost. Someone he didn't deserve.
John.
Yes, Chester. That's right. You.
Say, what is this anyway? Inner Sanctum or Love's Old Sweet Song? You'd better get yourself another tune, Professor. Or I'd better get myself another program to haunt. That's right. One more sappy ending like that, and they can get themselves another host.
Why, what was the matter with that ending? I thought it was the nicest one we've had this year. I thought it was sweet the way those two people discovered they loved each other.
Listen, Mary, there's only one kind of sweet stuff that goes on this program, and that's sweet essence of cyanide. And now, a word of advice, friend. Don't let tonight's story, all this business about dead men's debts, prey on your mind too much. If you should wake up at about 2 in the morning and hear strange footsteps coming up the stairs towards your room, don't worry. It won't be a homicidal maniac. It will probably be the ghost of a bill collector coming to collect IOU. By the way, this month's Inner Sanctum mystery novel is Lay That Pistol Down by Richard Powell. And now it's time to close the squeaking door. So, good night. Pleasant dreams.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. Yes, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Lipton Tea and Lipton Soup present Inner Sanctum Mysteries. Welcome to the shadowy borderland of the squeaking door, all you hardy adventurers. Into the land of the grisly, ghastly, gruesome, horrid, shocking, and monstrous. I mean, Inner Sanctum. Of course, I assume that we're all old friends here, but if by any chance there's a stranger among us, perhaps I should state the purpose for which we are here assembled. Our object is to make your spine tingle and your hair stand on end. That's right. When we're through, you'll discover that a fiend in need is a fiend indeed.
Heavens, you stop talking so scary, or folks will tune us off their radios.
Oh, Mary, I'm just trying to scare them into the chill, so they'll have to drink Lipton tea.
Well, that isn't necessary at all. For a great many years, people have been enjoying Lipton tea without any persuasion from you. That famous Lipton flavor has won the praise of tea experts all over the world. And you know, folks, these experts describe the Lipton flavor by saying that it's brisk. B-R-I-S-K. Now, brisk means that Lipton tea always tastes fresh and full-bodied. Yes, tangy and vigorous. Never flat or wishy-washy. That's why I always say you don't know how good tea can be till you know how good Lipton's is.
And now, friends, let's go from tea to terror. Yes, the title of tonight's story is Terror by Night. It's an original radio play by Emil Tepperman. Tell me, have you ever been alone with fear? Alone in the night and frightened? Well, here's Ann Shepard in the role of Linda Dixon to tell us what happened to her.
It was a Friday night, and I think I was already a little nervous as I drove north into the mountains. It was the first day of my vacation. I started from the city early enough to arrive before nightfall, but my car was 6 years old and developed motor trouble. So now I was driving through the night with 50 miles more to go, and I was tired and nervous and irritated. And then I heard that siren in the distance. At first I couldn't place it. And then I remembered the state prison was somewhere in the vicinity. The siren. That meant a prisoner had escaped. I reached over and turned on the radio. They were broadcasting an alarm.
I repeat, motorists are warned to be on the lookout for Lee Hartley, who escaped from the death cell at State Prison at 9:15 p.m. He is 5'10", dark-haired, regular features, no distinguishing marks. Hartley is a confirmed killer. He is believed to be armed. Beware of Hartley. He would rather kill than eat. I better give you that again.
He would rather kill than eat. And that man was loose. I stared ahead at the lonely road spinning toward me through the windshield.
It has been established that Hartley was helped to escape from the outside by his sweetheart, Helen Hearn, a red-headed woman just as vicious as Hartley himself. It is thought that Hartley and the Hearn woman may have separated after the escape. All motorists are warned to beware of a dark-haired man and a red-haired woman, alone or together.
My hand was shaking a little as I turned off the radio. I looked in the car mirror and shivered. I, too, have red hair. There was a storm coming up, and I was driving into it. And the night was black, and I felt small and lonely and frightened in the car. Then I saw them in the mirror, the headlights sweeping up behind me. The car. It had come out of nowhere. It was pulling alongside, cutting me off. I cowered behind the wheel and then watched the door of that other car open. A man stepped out. Oh, I breathed a sigh of relief. It was a state trooper.
You guys all alone, miss?
Oh, yes, officer.
Sorry if I scared you. We're stopping all cars. Where are you heading for, miss?
Oh, I'm going up to Seven Lakes Hotel. That's near Carstairs. You see, I started out late from the city, and I'm having motor trouble.
Yeah, sure. Can I see your driver's license, please?
Yes, my driver's license, of course. Here, I've got it somewhere in my purse. I seem to be all fingers. That escaped prisoner, Hartley.
How'd you know about him?
Oh, well, I heard the prison siren. Then it came over the radio about Hartley and his red-haired girlfriend.
Say, you've got red hair, too.
Well, you don't think I'm that woman.
Find that license yet?
Well, I'm sure it's in here. So many... Oh, here, I've got it. Here's my license.
Thanks. What time did you say you left the city?
About 5 o'clock.
Took you a long time to get this far.
Well, I told you I had motor trouble.
Oh, I sure did. Okay, Miss Dixon, here's your license. You can go ahead.
Thank you. Oh, darn. There it goes again.
More motor trouble.
No, it's the same thing the mechanic said it might have. There it started.
You want to get that fixed first chance you get?
Yeah. It's late, though. All the service stations are closed.
Yeah, there's one that's open all night about 2 miles up the road.
Oh?
You better stop there. Bill Slater's place. He's a good mechanic.
Yeah.
He'll fix you up. Tell him Joe Nesbitt sent you.
Right, thanks, I will.
And listen, Miss Dixon.
Yeah.
You be careful. Don't stop to give anyone a lift, man nor woman.
Oh, don't worry, I won't. The night closed in on me again, but I didn't feel quite so nervous, knowing that the trooper was somewhere behind me on the road and Bill Slater's service station ahead. In a few minutes, I saw the lights on the service station. I swung into the open space in front of the pumps. I stopped. There was a rumbling of thunder in the west. The storm was moving up fast. There was another car, a coupe, parked at the pump. But there wasn't anybody in it. And I didn't see any attendant around either. I pressed the horn button. No one answered. No one came out of the office. Still no response. Everything seemed so quiet and suddenly ominous. I found myself shivering. I had a curious feeling that someone was watching me. I've got to get away from here fast. It started when I woke again. It won't start. It won't start. For a long time, I sat behind the wheel, listening for the sound of footsteps stealing up behind the car. There were none. Then I could bear it no longer. I had to get out of the car. I had to see what was in that office. I opened the door of the car and stepped down on the gravel. Anybody in there? No answer. I clenched my fists and stepped inside. There on the floor at my feet lay the body of a man. His mechanic's jumper was stained red with blood, and his throat was cut from ear to ear. How long I stood there, I'll never know. I was petrified, unable to move, unable to take my eyes from the bloody body. What's that? Someone coming downstairs. Hartley. be Hartley, the killer. He must have been hiding somewhere upstairs. I've got to get away outside. But how? My car won't run. That other car, the coupe, I could jump into that. Yes. If I could reach that coupe before he comes down.
Anything wrong, sister?
Too late.
Anything I can do for you, sister?
Yes, it's my car. It won't start. I thought someone here might help me.
Sorry. There doesn't seem to be anybody around. That's my coupe over there. I stopped for gas and no one came out, so I went in and looked around.
Did you find anyone?
There isn't a living soul in there.
Oh.
You look kind of tired.
Oh, no, I'm all right.
My name is Taylor.
Oh?
John Taylor.
I'm Linda Dixon.
Linda Dixon, huh? Glad to know you. Traveling far tonight?
Well, I'm going to Carstairs. Seven Lakes Hotel. They're expecting me.
Now, what do you know about that?
What?
Carstairs is the town I'm heading for, too. Isn't that a coincidence?
Yes, I'm sure it is.
Your car won't run, huh? Tell you what, we'll put your baggage in my car, and I'll give you a lift to Carstairs. You can send for your car in the morning.
Oh, no.
I'll have your bag switched in a jiffy.
Please, no, I would rather not.
We are all switched. Now, come on. Get in here.
He took my arm and helped me into the coupe. His hand was strong. His grip was hard. It hurt me.
There you are. Snug as a bug in a rug.
We drove away into the night, leaving behind us the dead man in the service station.
From where we sit, it looks as if pretty Linda Dixon has gotten herself into an awful jam. And believe me, she's shaking like jelly.
My goodness, that poor girl. And just think, this is supposed to be her vacation.
Why, Mary, she's in the country now, isn't she? In fact, it looks to me like she's going back to the soil. Horizontally.
Oh, dear. Why do you always look on the dark side of things? Seems to me you're always pessimistic. Of course, lots of folks feel that way at times, like when they've been working too hard and they're tired. But, you know, I think there's nothing better for that let-down feeling than a good hot cup of Lipton's, the tea with the brisk flavor. That brisk flavor really perks you up. You see, that word brisk, B-R-I-S-K, is just another way of saying that Lipton tea tastes full-bodied and vigorous. Yes, tangy and spirited, never flat or wishy-washy. So try Lipton's real soon, won't you, folks?
Well, now, let's go back and see how pretty little Linda Dixon is making out, all alone in the car with a strange man. But after all, she shouldn't be too scared of him. He's just a felon and he's a friend.
The storm broke a few minutes after we left that service station. We drove through sheets of rain. I sat stiff and tense beside the man who called himself John Taylor. He had both hands on the wheel, and he stared out through the windshield. My eyes focused on something on his right hand. It was a stain, a small stain, but it was wet and red. I couldn't take my eyes off it.
What are you looking at?
What? Oh, nothing. Nothing at all.
Think I'll turn on the radio. Did you know there's been a jailbreak?
Hartley is 5'10", very dark hair. Don't be fooled by his pleasant manner. He is a killer by instinct. Take no chances with this man. He is absolutely...
I looked at the man beside me.
Helen Hearn is a clever and dangerous woman. 5'3", red hair, very pretty.
I caught Taylor looking at me out of the corner of his eye. What are you looking at?
At your hair. It's red.
There was a streak of lightning, and looking out of the rain-swept window, I glimpsed a signpost. The lightning illuminated the sign, and my heart skipped a beat at what I saw. That sign we just passed.
What about it?
Well, it said Kerhonkson ahead. We're going the wrong way. We should be on the Carstairs Road, not on the Kerhonkson Road.
That's funny. Must have taken the wrong turn.
Well, aren't you going to turn back?
Sure. Whatever you say. We'll turn right around and go back. Uh-oh. We're in the ditch.
In the ditch?
That's no good. She won't budge. Well, it looks like we're stuck here for the night. You look scared.
Oh, no. I think I'd better get out and walk. Perhaps there's a house nearby.
Walk in this weather?
Oh, I don't mind the weather, really. I don't.
You can't walk in this storm?
Well, nevertheless, I'm going to try.
Not on your life.
What do you mean?
You're staying right here till I get the car out of the ditch. You get pneumonia walking in this storm.
But I'm
Let's see. Where's that flashlight? Ah, here we are. Got some tools in the trunk compartment. You stay put. Stay right where you are.
I heard him open the trunk in the back. I listened for further sounds, but there was nothing. I didn't hear him moving there. I didn't hear any tools. I had to find out what he was doing. Slowly, carefully, I got my door open. I stepped out into the ring and sneaked back toward the rear. I saw him there, not moving, in front of the open trunk compartment, bending over with a flashlight in his hand. The ray of light was focused on something curled up inside. It wasn't baggage or tools. It was a woman's body. Just then he saw me. He snapped the flashlight off, but not before I caught a glimpse of red hair. Then I must have fainted. When I came to, I found myself seated inside the car again. My face and hair were wet. My clothes were dripping. John Taylor was driving. His face as he stared ahead through the night was dark and bleak. The storm was over. Night was quiet.
Oh, so you're awake again?
I don't feel well.
Is it because of what's in the trunk compartment?
She's dead.
I told you not to get out of the car.
What are you going to do with me?
What do you think?
Please.
Sorry, sister. Got to take your medicine.
Oh, no.
Better not make any trouble. I'll try to make it as easy for you as I can.
They say that when a person loses all hope, subconsciously he seeks refuge in sleep. That's what must have happened to me. I must have dozed, or perhaps I fainted, I don't know. But I awoke with a start at the sound of brakes. I sat up straight and saw that we stopped in front of a small fieldstone house. Why are we stopping here?
I'm out of gas.
Oh.
Come on. We're going in.
Sign on the door said Roger Bryce, M.D. A doctor's house. I began to feel a spark of hope. There might be a chance.
I'll do the talking. Is that clear?
Yes.
Where's the bell? Oh. Must be awake. There's a light in the parlor.
How do you do?
Good evening. Dr. Bryce?
Yes. Can I help you?
I'm terribly sorry to disturb you, Doctor, but my sister and I were heading for Carstairs, and we seem to have gotten lost. And we're out of gas.
His sister. He was passing us off as brother and sister. Now I knew why he hadn't cut my throat as he had that service station man's. He was carrying me for protection. I was his passport through the police cordon. His sister.
I'm afraid I can't be of much help to you. I'm 7 miles from the nearest town, and I haven't any spare gasoline. Come in, won't you?
Why, yes, thank you, we will.
I wonder if I could offer you my hospitality for the night.
Oh, that would be imposing.
Not at all. I have 2 rooms that aren't being used.
Really?
Oh, come. I insist.
I'd hoped for a chance to talk to Dr. Bryce alone. Just a word to warn him. But Taylor never left us alone for a minute. He insisted on coming into my room. To make sure, he said, that it was comfortable enough for me. Then he took the doctor by the arm and went out with him.
Good night, sis. And sweet dreams.
I was alone. Free of the presence of John Taylor. I had another lease on life. I waited, my heart pounding. Give them both a chance to retire. Then I slipped off my shoes, and in my stocking feet, I stole across the room and inched my door open. Slowly, carefully, I stepped out into the corridor and turned right toward the doctor's room.
What's the matter, sister? You weren't thinking of going anywhere, were you?
I wanted a drink of water.
A drink of water, huh? In case you didn't know it, there's a water pitcher on your dresser.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Good night, sister.
I turned around and went back into my room. It was no use. If I attempted to warn Dr. Bryce, Taylor would probably kill us both. I turned out the light in my room. I knew he was watching my transom. Then I lay down on the bed. How long I lay there, I don't know. Perhaps I slept, perhaps not. But I heard that slight creak as my door began to inch open. The blood chilled in my veins. Slowly the door came open. I lay fascinated, unable to move. Vaguely I saw the outline of the hand and the knife it held. I wanted to scream, but I couldn't. Slowly he came toward the bed. Now he stands over me. He raises the knife. I screamed! I rolled over on the bed just as the knife flashed down. I rolled off the bed and cowered in a corner. That horrible figure came around the bed after me with a knife, afraid. Help! Dr. Bryce, help me! I let Howard go in the corner. They fought all over the room in the dark. I had no strength to move, to think, not even to hope. All the life seemed to have gone dead in my veins. And then it was over. But who had won? In the dark, I strained my eyes to see. There was a vague shape on the floor, and another weaving around the room. Who? Which one was it? Dr. Bryce, is that you?
No, Linda. It isn't Dr. Bryce. It's I, John Taylor.
John Taylor. Standing there at the light switch. And on the floor lay Dr. Bryce unconscious. with a long gash in his head.
I had to hit him with a water pitcher.
My eyes turned to Dr. Bryce. I saw the knife still gripped in his right hand.
That's Hartley, Linda. Lee Hartley, the killer.
It was he who came in here with a knife?
Right. I was down the cellar just now. The real Dr. Bryce is down there, dead. And this fellow posed as Bryce when we came to the house.
Then you're not Hartley.
No, that rich. All the time you thought I was Lee Hartley, and I thought you were Helen Hearn. On account of your red hair.
But the red-haired woman.
That's Helen Hearn. This fellow must have killed her back at the service station and stuffed her body in my trunk compartment while I was inside.
That all happened last summer. In time, I think I'll manage to forget that night of horror. But it won't be soon. Sometimes in the night I dream that I see that awful figure with the knife poised above my throat. And I wake up screaming. But then John takes me in his arms and holds me tight and tells me that everything's all right. You see, I'm Mrs. John Taylor now.
Well, what do you know? A happy ending. As for Mr. Hartley, that pleasant killer, he got what he deserved. Yes, some people never know when they're well off. You should have stayed in jail, where they never raise your rent, where they make no charge for meals or for electric current. You see, when you're in jail, everything is free, except you.
You know, Mr. Host, that's the first happy ending we've had in a long, long time. And I must say I enjoyed it.
Ah, those lovebirds shouldn't have gotten married. It's bad for business, Mary. Now, when she wakes up screaming from a nightmare, she reaches for her husband instead of a hot cup of a Lipton tea.
Well, I'm glad she has a husband to comfort her. There are plenty of other occasions, Mr. Host, when Lipton's tea is welcome. And I don't mean just at meal times either. Lipton's is grand between meals. And, of course, it's the perfect beverage to serve when friends and neighbors drop in to visit you. Yes, I guess that's why more people serve Lipton tea than any other brand.
And now a word of caution to all amateur detectives. They say that if you give a criminal enough rope, he'll hang himself. But if you give some criminals enough rope, they might tie you up. Oh, by the way, this month's Inner Sanctum mystery novel is Puzzle for Wantons by Patrick Quentin. Yes, and next week's Inner Sanctum story, directed by Hyman Brown, and brought to you by Lipton Tea and Lipton Soup. Next week's story is about a lonely man who falls in love with a mannequin in a store window. Oh, gee, fellow wants a real girl, so he tries to make her come to life. And what do you know? He finds he has to kill her first. Well, now it's time to close the squeaking door, so good night. Pleasant dreams.
Folks, these busy days, we all want to save time when we prepare meals, and yet we don't want to sacrifice that good homemade taste. Well, the answer to that is Lipton's Noodle Soup. You see, Lipton's takes no time to prepare, and yet it has a real fresh-cooked chickeny flavor. Yes, it tastes just like the chicken noodle soup you'd make right in your own home. Lipton's is economical, too. It costs less and makes more than canned soups. So, folks, don't forget to serve Lipton's Noodle Soup. And don't forget to tune in next Tuesday night for another Inner Sanctum Mystery.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Inner Sanctum Mysteries. Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum. This is your host at the squeaking door again. Just slither in and let me dispel your weariness with a bit of eeriness. Oh, no. No, please. Don't sit in that chair. I'm saving it for rigor mortis to set in.
Oh, dear. I see this is going to be one of those nights when my favorite character gets killed.
Yes, Mary, but don't scream blue murder because this is a corpse of a different color. And now let's leave the world. Temporarily, of course. Tonight's story is called The Lonely Sleep. It's an original radio play by Christopher Mayle, who scribbled it during a nightmare. And our star is Carl Swenson, who plays the role of Archie Gold. Murder is a specter which nudges all of us, anywhere. Most of us will never murder, but can any of us say we never will? Certainly Archie Gold, 30-ish, bald and mild-mannered, never thought he would murder. Archie was the window display man for Greg's department store. At night, the stories of fantastic nightmare of eerie shadows, covered showcases, cavernous depths, and dank, stale odors, with only his own hollow footsteps for sound. Because windows are dressed at night. It's night now. And Archie's busy in his storeroom crating his favorite mannequin for shipment to the mannequin factory. Being a lonely man, he talks to the mannequins. And being in love with Esther Newman of the store's accounting office, he naturally calls his favorite mannequin Esther.
You've been very mean to me, Esther. The last time I asked you to go out with me, you snickered at me. That's not nice. That's why I had to do this to you.
Archie tucked Esther's smooth pink torso into a crate.
There. Perfect fit, darling. Perfect.
Then Archie wrapped Esther's slim legs and arms in excelsior, tucked them into another crate.
So, you wouldn't put your arms around me, darling. Well, you won't get another chance.
Then Archie picked up Esther's pretty head and placed it on his workbench.
Oh, Esther. I'm so lonely. Why don't people talk to me? Why can't I be popular? But what's wrong with me? Why don't you go out with me?
What Archie never dreamed was that the real Esther Newman was at that moment slamming the last of her monthly report books closed, clicking off the light, and starting out of the finance office toward the rear door of the store. She stopped by Archie's half-open door when she hears his voice.
No, listen to me, Esther, darling. I am making enough money here to buy us a little place over in Jersey. See, all my life I wanted to love someone like you. You're so beautiful. You will marry me, won't you, darling?
Why, Archie, go. Sitting there proposing to a dummy. And the dummy's name is Esther. What a coincidence.
Esther, you worked late? I didn't know. No. I mean, yes. I give the mannequins names. It's sort of a game. Yeah, a game. That's it.
Well, they don't talk back anyhow.
No, they don't talk back. But they're sort of kind. They smile at me. And, see, I'm lonely. Mm-hmm. I work all night. And Esther, will you go out with me Sunday night? Mm-hmm. Please. Just dinner and the movies.
Are you kidding? Why don't you ask your dummy friend? Hey, say what a swell idea. She won't eat much. You can maybe get her into the movies for half price. And when you kiss her goodnight, Archie, she won't slap your face. Why are you looking at me that way?
You shouldn't laugh.
You're crazy. You're trying to scare me. Yes, that's it. No, you're not. You are crazy. Don't come near her. Archie.
You shouldn't laugh.
Archie, don't.
You shouldn't laugh. My turn to laugh. See? My turn. You shouldn't laugh. People shouldn't laugh when you're lonely.
You see, the specter of murder had nudged Archie, and he'd obeyed. This was no mannequin at his feet. This was a woman, warm, beautiful, and dead. And being scared and lonelier than ever, Archie talked to his mannequins again. This time to Frank, painted and rouged and handsome in Greg's bargain 29.50 tweed suit.
You heard her laughing at me, Frank. I just couldn't stand her laughing at me again. You look at her, Frank. You'd think she was asleep. Her neck's broken. See, what am I going to do with her? Yeah, I gotta think. Gotta hide her. Gotta dress the front window, too. The window. Sale of Cozy Kitten mattresses starts tomorrow. It's a big sale. Sleep on a Cozy Kitten. I've got it, Frank. The window. I've put her in the window on a Cozy Kitten mattress. Nobody will know. And then tomorrow night...
So Archie used some pancake makeup, bringing life to Esther's sallowing cheeks and purple lips. He placed her dead weight on a hard truck. He rolled her to the lighted window. An hour later, Esther's corpse, covered with gleaming white sheets and sleazy satin quilt, smiled in peaceful bliss at the empty street. Archie found his work well done.
Nothing more to do now. Just wait. I'll go home. And wait. That's a good window. You look very pretty in bed, Esther.
I've been watching you, young fella. Saw you do the whole thing. What's the matter? I scare you?
No, officer. I didn't know.
Yeah, I've been in the doorway across the street watching you. A lot of work to making up one of them windows, ain't there?
Yeah. You saw me do the whole window, you mean?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
So I put the mattresses in, make the bed, put the signs in, then fix the lights. Then you put the girl in the bed and fix her face up. Hey, it's a nice job.
Yeah.
Say, you look bad, son.
Yeah.
Anything wrong? You sick?
Huh? No. I'm just tired.
All through for the night?
Yeah, I'm also. Good night, officer.
Good night, young fella, and don't worry about your girlfriend. I'll keep an eye on her every night.
So Archie went home, as you or I might have done. And because he'd been too busy setting his little post-mortem stage, the impact of his crime began to seep through only as he neared his rooming house. Maybe the girl in the doorway he'd passed started him thinking because she laughed.
Are you kidding?
Just a girl and her date. You can't blame Archie for hurrying. You would have thought it was Esther, too. Archie hurried. He hurried to the rooming house. He raced up the steps. He had to get to his room, get in and close the door of the world. Close the door. That's it.
They can't laugh at me here. They won't find me here. This is my room. Nerves. Stupid running like that. I've got to act normal. Sure, just like nothing happened. I couldn't help it. She made me do it. No, forget about it.
Why, Archie, gold.
No. You can't laugh now. You're...
I'm dead, Archie. Yes, in a way. I'm in Greg's department store.
I don't believe in ghosts. It's just my mind, my imagination.
That's right, Archie. You're too clever to believe in ghosts. I'm not a ghost, Archie. I'm in your mind. I'm part of you now. Part of you.
Get out! I'll drive you out.
Oh, no, Archie. You can't. Unless,
Unless,
Archie,
Yes. That might do it. Someone else. Another girl.
See? That's how a murderer thinks. Oh, yes. You do the same thing. Archie never thought he would murder. Now he's ready to do it again. To get rid of his conscience, to get rid of a voice. Archie lit a cigarette. He poured himself some milk, ignoring the laughter in his brain until he pushed through again.
Look at your hands, Archie. Look at them. All crooked and hard and clutching.
Oh.
Like they were on my throat.
No, shut up!
Archie threw himself on the bed and jammed the pillow against his ears. He fell into a dream worse than reality.
Hello? Huh?
Archie Gold?
Yeah, this is Archie Gold.
This is Mr. Gregg, Archie. I know this is your time to sleep, but it's important that you get down here right away.
Is anything wrong, Mr. Gregg?
I can't tell you over the phone. Come down here. Goodbye.
All right, Mr. Gregg.
After he'd shaved and dressed, Archie felt a little better. After all, if they'd discovered anything, Mr. Gregg wouldn't have called. He'd have sent the police. Feeling of confidence stayed with him until he stood across the street from Gregg. He lost it then. It dropped with a sickening pain about his heart and a dry pinching about his lips. People were standing 3 deep in front of his window display, and he caught sight of a policeman's cab following Mr. Gregg's bald head into the store. Well, let's see how good Archie's alibi is. Remember Archie, the lonely little man who dresses Gregg's department store windows at night? He just couldn't stand being spurned by Esther Newman any longer. She laughed at him when he asked for a date, and now Esther is a lifeless mannequin advertising the restful qualities of cozy kitten mattresses in the window display. And Archie enters the store to see what's in store for him.
Mr. Gregg, I'm,
Archie Gold, come in. Close the door. Sit down. Now, boy, you know Miss Newman in our bookkeeping department?
Yes, sir. I knew her, but I'd like a chance.
Now, you're going to get a chance, my boy. Before leaving on a week's vacation, Miss Newman completed our annual report.
Miss Newman is on vacation?
Yes. Which isn't important. Our report shows we sold 16 cozy kitten mattresses in 1 year.
Well, that's not many, is it, sir?
It's terrible. We were stuck with 1,500 of them. Just a minute now. Jenkins.
Yes, Mr. Gregg?
How many mattresses have you sold now?
802, sir.
You hear that, Gold?
Yes, sir.
802 mattresses in a couple of hours. And your window display did that. My boy, you're a genius.
Mr. Gregg,
No. I know just what you're going to say. Any man who has the imagination to put a woman dummy asleep in a window, and such a dummy, so peaceful. How much are we paying you, Archie?
It's $36.47 a week, sir.
Starting today, it's $72.94. And a private office, and you're the head window display manager of my 3 stores. Ha! Stunned you, huh?
Everything I've always wanted.
What's more, I've had pictures taken of that window with the crowds, and the paper promised to run it in tonight's edition. With your name. Good?
Yes, sir. I want you to know, sir, I appreciate it.
Oh, nonsense. Gregg knows a bargain. Now go home to bed again, or take tonight off.
Oh, no. I have work to do.
Got more good ideas? Good.
Mr. Gregg.
Yes, my boy.
If the mattresses are selling so well, we won't need the display. I can take it out tonight.
Oh, nonsense. Don't touch it. We'll run this sale for 2 weeks. I just ordered 1,500 more mattresses.
Success and popularity was sweet to Archie's taste. But Archie knew a corpse, no matter how beautiful, cannot survive the sun beating through glass for long. And Archie knew that. It was a wretched rainy night. Gregg's department store had long since closed its doors. The night belonged again to Archie. Now he had a nasty job to do. He drew the curtains across the big window. His Esther was watching again. Esther was just a mannequin now, a mannequin of flesh and bones, but a mannequin. And Archie spoke to his mannequin.
You've had a hard day, Esther, darling, haven't you? Well, it's all over now. You never did anything for me alive. Dead, you brought me success. Now I've got to send you away. You're stiff and cold, Esther. And you can't laugh now, can you?
Esther couldn't laugh. And Archie opened the crates which contained the mannequin he had originally planned to ship. With a few simple tools and lots of work, he made Esther, the real Esther, conform to his original shipment. A torso, a pair of slim legs and arms, and a head.
Who? Well, that's the alley door. Somebody's there. Gee, a cop, maybe. I've got to act natural. After all, she's well hidden.
Could I come in? Please, I'm so wet and tired.
Girl. It's a girl. Yes. Come in. Get out of that rain.
Thanks.
Why, you poor kid, you're soaked. Come into the workshop. I've got a heater in there.
Gosh, thanks.
She was sent to me. Someone to take Esther's place. Feel better now?
Yeah, that's better. You're very kind.
How did you happen to pick this door to knock at?
Well, the alley seemed a good place to get out of the wind. It started to rain, and I saw your light.
Oh, I see. And you're broke.
Yeah. The usual story. I came to town from Philly to get a job. Job was there, all right, but the boss wasn't on the level.
Well, don't you have a home? Parents or a husband, I mean? Oh, that's
no.
a shame. Look, stay right there now. I'll be right back.
You're not leaving me, are you?
No, I'm going to get a blanket to put across your shoulders. I'll be right back.
Of course he'd be right back. Wasn't this just what he needed? Another mannequin to satisfy Esther's voice? Made sense. The second time, it's easier. It always is.
Don't move, May. I'll put it across your shoulders.
All right. You're a very lonely man, aren't you, Mr. Gold?
How do you know that?
Because I like you.
How does that prove I'm lonely?
I like lonely people.
Why?
Because I'm terribly lonely myself.
I got some coffee in the thermos here. I'll get you some.
I like it here. I like to look at the mannequins, especially that handsome one there. What do you call him?
What do you mean, call him?
Well, you must talk to him. I would.
You're wonderful. You understand. Yeah, I do. I do talk to him. His name's Frank. Frank, meet May. May, this is Frank.
Hello, Frank. I'm sleepy, Frank.
Oh, May. Why did you come tonight? Why couldn't you come 2 nights ago? You're sleepy?
Mm-hmm. I'm warm and sleepy.
Look, I have 3 hours before my window has to be finished, and I have an errand that'll take me about an hour. You climb into the bed in the window and...
People will see me in the window.
No, the curtains are drawn. I'll wake you when I get back.
All right. Looks like the kind of bed I could sleep on forever and... ever.
Doesn't always work out the way you plan it, see? Archie didn't want to murder Esther, but he did. Archie wants to murder May, but he'd rather not. Well, Archie drew the satin quilts over May. She smiled, closed her eyes with a murmured thanks, and was asleep. Archie knew now he loved her, that he must never listen to her speak again. While Archie carried the crates containing Esther's remains into the station wagon in the alley, a little man with a sad, droopy face and a derby hat argued with the night captain of the local police station.
I tell you, I know what I'm talking about. I stopped at Greg's window 4 times today. I know a corpse when I see one.
Well, I saw that window, too. That's a dummy in that bed. I know a dummy when I see one.
I don't doubt that, Captain. You've had more experience with dummies than I have, but I've had more experience with corpses than you have. That's a dead girl in the bed.
Now, what makes you so sure?
I've been an undertaker for 40 years. My name is Huzak. My establishment is down the block from Greg's store on 10th Street.
Okay, we'll check. Now, operator, get me Mr. Gregg. Yeah, Greg's department store. Of course it is home. What else at this hour?
Archie had a plan. Excitement gripped him. But that habit of years was strong, and he talked to Esther as he piled her 3 coffins into the station wagon in the alley.
Don't you worry, Esther. In a half hour, you'll be at the bottom of the river. You shouldn't have laughed, Esther. Then I'll come back to me.
Sure. Archie had a plan, all right. But it didn't include the little old undertaker who knew a corpse when he saw one, or an angry, sleepy Mr. Gregg, or a confused catcher who were right then coming to a stop in front of the store.
This is an outrage, a preposterous, fantastic farce. Getting me down here in the middle of the night to prove I have a corpse in my window.
I know, Mr. Gregg. I feel silly about it myself, but Mr. Huzak here seems so sure.
The curtains are drawn in front of the window. We'll have to go inside.
Oh. In a minute, you're all going to look very silly. There. Does that look like a corpse?
No. You're right. It's not a corpse. It isn't a dummy either.
She's alive. Breathing.
There's something queer here. I'm going to look around outside.
Archie! Archie, go!
Archie didn't hear himself being paged. But at the entrance of the alley, he saw the police car in front, and he heard the police captain shouting from the sidewalk. That was when Archie decided it was better to be lonely. The lonelier, the better.
They found out. That's the police. They found out.
Hey, you!
Wait now. Got to. Won't catch me. They won't. Got the right way. I gotta go through. Faster. Faster. Why can't it go faster? That's right. Turn right. Turn!
No one ever heard Archie's last words. They bubbled through his torn throat as he lay in the glass-smashed window through which he'd crashed. No one.
I'm so lonely. May. So lonely.
Well, Greg, here's your Archie Gold. I'll bet those crates will be interesting.
Awful.
Yeah, quite a mess.
No one was cruel enough to point out a gruesome bit of grisly humor. The lonely little man who'd spent so much time in display windows had created his final masterpiece. Archie had decorated his last window in Huzak's funeral parlor. The lesson we learned from tonight's story is that murder doesn't pay. It's a losing business. Murderers are always in the red. And it's strenuous work, too. You're bound to find yourself a little stiff. Well, I have to run along now, folks. Got some shopping to do in Greg's department store. What? Oh, I know it's late, but You see, Archie and I shop at night to avoid the shrouds, you know. By the way, this month's Inner Sanctum mystery novel is Puzzle for Wantons by Patrick Quentin. Oh, and here's a special announcement. Next week's story is about a man whose dreams always come true. All he has to do is to dream that somebody's being murdered and... Enough to keep you awake, isn't it? So until we meet again next Tuesday, you dream of me and I'll dream of you. Mm-hmm. Now it's time to close the squeaking door, so good night. Pleasant dreams. Hmm?
Don't forget to tune in next Tuesday night for another Inner Sanctum mystery.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Lipton Tea and Lipton Soup present Inner Sanctum Mystery. Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum. This is your host to welcome you in through the squeaking door to another half hour of horror. Come in, won't you? Sit down. I hope you'll forgive me if I don't get up, but I'm terribly tired. I spent last night with a friend who's a book collector, specializes in bestsellers. He certainly showed me some interesting ones. In fact, he tried to bury me in one. Because all the very best sellers have corpses in them.
Why, that's downright silly. Most sellers do not have bodies in them.
But of course they have, Mary. You know the old saying, even the walls have ears.
You certainly don't make a house sound homey at all. Why don't you talk about the kitchen with its good, warm smells of homemade food? Yes, and while you're at it, you should mention Lipton tea, because Lipton's makes good food taste better.
If you're willing to gamble with your peace of mind, put out the lights and listen to Death by Scripture. It's an original radio play by that old gravedigger, Robert Newman. Yes, and our star tonight is Stefan Schnabel, who plays the role of Stefan. The place is China, somewhere near the outskirts of Shanghai. A man-made wasteland ravaged and devastated by war. Driving through an abandoned village on his way to a camp for displaced persons is Major Roger Mason. Suddenly, the glare of his headlights picks out a strange, wild-eyed figure who stares, then scuttles into the shelter of an alley. Mason hesitates for only a moment, then stops his feet.
Hello there. Come back here for a minute, will you? Hello. Okay, if you want to make a game out of it.
This alley somewhere.
Oh, there you are.
Please, Master, please. I mean no harm.
Easy now. No one's going to hurt you. Certainly not me. I'm an American on my way to Camp 14.
Camp 14?
The camp for refugees, displaced persons.
I know. I was there.
I thought so. How was it they let you leave?
They did not let me. I ran away.
Oh? Why?
Because to stay would have meant death.
To me, it would be a lot more dangerous to go wandering around here. Suppose I take you back there with me.
No, please.
There's nothing to be afraid of.
You think not? Very well. What can man do against fate? I tried. You're a witness that I tried. But I warn you, if I go back, it will mean death, not just for me, but for others. Many others.
Yes.
I'm Major Mason.
Major Mason, I'm very happy to meet you. Welcome to Camp 14.
I'm very glad to meet you, too. I've heard a great deal about you. The job you've been doing here.
Oh, Dad. There was not much I could do when we were all prisoners. But now that we have been freed and are beginning to get food and medical supplies, it is almost like a holiday. May I present Miss Mia Singh, who has been assisting me?
Major Mason?
Miss Singh? I brought someone here with me, someone I picked up on the road, and
Stefan.
I did not want to come back. He made me.
Was any doubt come from the camp here?
Yes, of course. A curious case. We have never been able to discover his last name or even his nationality. We have many kinds here, you know. White Russians, Koreans, Siamese, Burmese.
Stefan, why did you do it? Why did you run away?
Because I was afraid. Because of this.
Another one. That same paper.
What is it?
We found about a dozen of them scattered around the camp this afternoon. Read it.
You have not escaped. There is no escape.
Do you recognize this symbol here?
Japanese Black Dragon Society.
It says there is no escape. And it's true. I tried to escape, and what happened? He brought me back. Our benefactor. Our savior.
I told you there was nothing to be afraid of, Stefan.
Afraid? Is death something to be feared? It is the one escape they cannot take from us. Death, to sleep, to rest.
To rest. Really in a pretty bad state. Couldn't you put him up in the administration building?
That might be exactly what they want.
Well, what do you mean?
It is not like the Black Dragon Society to warn someone they mean to kill. But suppose they don't know exactly who they do want. Wouldn't they do what they seem to have done? Make a general threat? And see who showed fear? Who did run away?
The war is over, Cornell.
The Major is right, Doctor. Are we still living in the past? And we do have a room here where we can put Stefan. The one down the hall.
Very well. But remember, I warned you. I, too, think it will mean death.
Stefan! Stefan!
The door is not locked, Major. Come in.
I didn't know whether I'd be disturbing you. Whether you were asleep.
Sleep? I never sleep. Never.
You're feeling better, though, aren't you? Safer?
It is at least quiet. A man can think. I was lying here, trying to remember.
Trying to remember what?
If I knew, I would know everything. But I don't know. There is much that I can remember.
Such as what?
The first one. The greatest one. Many lifetimes ago. The garden with a wall around it. The torchlight bright on their breastplates and helmets. And his face. Then the hill. The place of skulls. The earth shaking.
Stop it, Stefan. Whatever it is you're talking about, it's
horrible, yes. But true. Those I can remember. I can't ever forget. But what I can't remember is now. Who I am, what I must do, and why. It will be horrible, too. As bad as the others, but
Look, Stefan, you're a sick man. Now, you've got to rest. You've got to stop thinking, brooding. I'm going to get you something, some medicine. That'll help you to sleep. Then when you're strong again, we'll take you away from here.
Sleep. I told you I do not sleep. I cannot sleep.
No? We'll see about that. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Sleep. He does not believe that it is not for me. Not even the final one, which is dreamless. What's that? Outside the door. This door. But who is that? Who is there? No! No, no, no!
Did you hear
Yes. Down at the end of the hall there. Stefan's room. Come on, quick.
Major Mason, Mia.
This way, down here.
It sounded like shots, as if
What? Look.
Stefan.
No, don't touch him. Let me see. Dead. Unless he's not flesh and blood. 3 slugs right over the heart. It's been fired right from the door there, and... Good Lord.
What is it?
His pulse. Still there. Where's your surgery?
Right next to the office. What there is of it.
Here, help me carry him in there. We'll operate immediately. Swab. The tractor right there. That's it. You must have. Cut that off.
You don't have another one, Major.
Suture then. Tie it. How's his pulse?
Weak, but steady.
Another swab. That's it. Oh, I don't dare probe. What's it?
It is almost in the vena cava.
No worse than the others. Absolutely impossible. No one will believe it. But he's still alive. There.
The last one.
If it does pull through, he even holds out for a couple of hours. I'll believe anything. How is he, Mia?
I don't believe it either. But he's better. His pulse is still strong and there are no signs of shock.
I'll stay with him for a while. You go get some sleep.
No, I'm all right. I'd like to stay until we are sure that... Major, look. He's coming to.
No. Don't make me come back. Don't make me do it again. Don't.
Hello, Stefan. How are you feeling?
What? Oh, yes. The American. Why are you looking at me like that?
Because you had no right to be alive now. And you wouldn't be if it were not for him.
I never had any right to be alive. But I am. And I won't die. I told you I wouldn't. I couldn't. Until I do what I have to do.
And what's that?
It is coming to me. Slowly. I'm beginning to remember. I do not see it all yet. But I know what it will mean. Vultures and blood. Coffins and death.
Well, now we're starting to get somewhere. But I wish our friend with a bad memory would stop talking about what he had to do and do it. Here we are halfway through our story with only one shooting and no corpses. If things don't pick up, I'm going to get in there myself and show them how to pour gore.
My goodness, aren't you ever satisfied? I've had the creeps ever since this story started. I just refuse to think about what's going to happen next.
Well, as the doctor said as he sewed himself up, shoot yourself.
What an awful part. Brr.
Why, Mary, did you say brisk?
I did not say brisk, and I'll thank you not to make fun of that word, because it's a mighty important word in the language of tea experts. Yes, brisk. B-R-I-S-K is the word they use to describe the flavor of Lipton tea.
It is the next evening, about 10 o'clock at night. The dust-laden wind still wails around the lonely camp, and the refugees from many nations sit huddled in their room. Stefan, his face gaunt and drawn, is sitting propped up in bed in the administration building. Are you sure you feel well enough to talk, Stefan?
There is pain, but that does not matter. What is it you wish to know, Major?
You were shot, Stefan. You know that. Did you see who it was that shot you?
Yes, I saw. But that is not important. Does not matter.
What do you mean it does not matter?
Just that, Doctor. You see, much has come back to me. Not who I am, but what I must do. And I know now that I have nothing more to fear. That I was shot by mistake.
Mistake?
What the doctor said last night about the Black Dragon Society was quite true. There are 2 men here in the camp for whom the Japanese have been searching for years. Men who have been leading the resistance movement in their own countries. Even now, the Black Dragon Society feels that those 2 men must die.
Do you know who they are?
Yes.
Do not mention their names. Do not even think them.
You know who they are, don't you, Mia? One of them is your own father, Ram Singh. And the other is Pao Tung.
Is that true?
Yes. It is true.
Then I think we ought to go see them at once. Make provisions to get them away from here. That, then, is the situation, gentlemen. And I should like to have you escorted to Shanghai as soon as possible.
You are very kind, Major. We felt that our best protection lay in anonymity. We may have been wrong. As for the danger, even though Japan has been beaten, not all the members of the Black Dragon nor their agents have been rounded up. So...
Nonsense, Ram Singh. You always were too cautious. The Major is right. We should have declared ourselves, returned to our countries at once. I, for one, will be happy to do so now.
Good.
There are a few things in my room I would like to get first. It will not take but a moment. I will meet you back here.
Fine.
You still look worried, Father.
Do I? Perhaps I am. After all these years, waiting, working, suffering, to be so close to what I waited and worked for.
But what is there to be afraid of? The Major has promised you protection.
I know, and I'm profoundly grateful. But I keep wondering how Stefan knew.
What was that?
Out in the compound, and it sounded like Pao Tung. Stay here, both.
No, wait, I'm coming with you. Father, you stay here. Lock this door and do not let in anyone unless you know who it is. Major Mason! Major Mason, where are you?
Over here. Blasted dust is so thick. Who's that?
Thornlock. You heard it, too?
Yes. Sounded as if it came from... There he is.
Powerful?
Yes.
Dead?
Sorry. Throat cut from ear to ear.
No. No, he just left us. He was only gone a minute.
That minute was all somebody needed.
Dr. Konov, Ram Singh. Major Mason asked me to take you up to the administration building.
Just a second. That steam out in the compound, was it?
Yes. Pao Tung.
And was he...
Yes. Killed. That is why the Major wanted me to come and get you. To put you somewhere where you would be safe. You are ready?
Yes. Poor Pao Tung. To have lived through so much, waited for so long. Then, is it known who did it?
No, not yet. But they are closing the gates. Whoever it was will find it difficult to get away.
Will they? I wonder. In this dark, where the dust so thick you can hardly see. Besides, suppose it is not someone from outside. Suppose it is someone from the camp here. Someone who has been here for a long time. Wait. Oh. Dr. Konov! Dr. Konov, where are you? Dr. Konov! Must have lost him as we came through the alley. With this wind. Dr. Konov! Is that you? Who is it? Answer me! Tell me who it is. No, let me go.
Open the door for me, will you, Mia?
Of course, Major. Where are you going to put him?
Yeah. Right here, in the office. You told the guards at the gate?
They are closed now. No one will get out. But... Stefan, where
What are you doing up? You should not be out of bed.
I heard something outside. A cry, and I had to see. Which one is it?
Parton.
Dead?
Yes. Throat cut.
And the other? Your father, Mia.
Dr. Kurnoff went to get him. He is bringing him here where he will be safe. Now go back inside to bed. Father? Dr. Kurnoff?
Kurnoff, where is your father? Isn't he here?
I know. You were going
Didn't you go get him? Yes, I did. We started across the compound together, but it was so dark. The dust was so thick. I lost him. I called to him, looked for him, and when there was no answer, I thought he had gone on ahead.
Stay here, all of you. I'll go.
I'm sorry, Mia.
Why? Why are you looking at me that way? And what are you sorry about?
I am sorry that we became separated, that I lost him.
I am sorry that he's dead.
Dead? How can you say that?
Because he must be dead. Because it's part of the pattern, the cycle.
That is enough, Stefan. Come on. I will take you back inside. You're a very sick man.
Yes,
You should...
yes, I'm sick. Not as sick as some, but sick enough. I won't go back, though. Not yet. I must wait. I'm not sure for what, but I know I must wait for something. Listen.
Major Mason?
Yes. You found him?
Yes. Yes, I found him.
Father.
I told you. I knew. He had to be dead.
Yes. Yes, he had to be dead. I think I knew it, too. Knew it was hopeless from the very beginning. How did it happen?
Strangled. Kissed.
Strangled. Dying out there in the darkness. 2 of them killed within a few short minutes, and we still do not know.
That's not completely true, Mia.
You mean you know?
Your father and Parton were around here for a long time. They died because Stefan revealed their identity. That means the murderer had to have access to that information. He had to know precisely where they were and when they were going to be alone. And he had to be able to get at the medical supplies here.
The medical supplies?
Because Parton's throat was cut with a scalpel. And your father was strangled with a catgut suture. And that means... Don't move, Connor. Had you covered since I came in.
Dr. Kurnoff. No, I do not believe it.
Thank you, my dear. I am sure that there will be quite a few others who will feel that same way.
Stefan, you saw who shot you. Who was it?
He. Kurnoff.
You too, eh, Stefan? Well, I have a little something here I'd like to show all of you. Something...
Major, look out!
Quite fast enough, Kurnoff. At least you saved us the trouble of a trial. As for you, Stefan...
Do not blame him, Major. It was not his fault.
Not his fault. It was he who exposed your father and Parton.
I know. But I think I also know why he did it.
You know? Then tell me in heaven's name.
Here. This should not come from me, but take it.
Money? You are giving me money?
Yes. Silver. The amount may not be exactly right, but now do you understand?
Yes. Yes. Thank you. And bless you. I do understand everything. What I have done and what I must do.
What does he understand? Why did you give him that money?
There was once someone else who betrayed a friend and was paid for it with silver. 30 pieces to be exact.
You mean?
Yes. In the Bible. One Judas Iscariot.
That's mad, insane. Are you implying that that's why he didn't die when he was shot? He's eternal, immortal?
I do not know. Perhaps he is not always the same. Perhaps in each crisis, in every period of history, there is always one who must play the role of the betrayer, even against his will. But this much I do know. That he is not immortal.
Wait a minute. Remember the story of Judas in the Bible. Come on, quick. What's that?
The money I gave him on the floor. And...
Good heavens.
Yes. Matthew 27, as I recall. And he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple and departed. And went and hanged himself.
The kind of character we like to have on this program. A little slow getting started, but he did deliver in the end. 2 corpses, plus his own. A nice down-to-earth sort of chap who wound up high in the air with a rope round his neck. Yes, we'll have to see that he's back with us again next week. Rope and all. Use the rope? Of course we will. You know our motto. No noose is bad news.
Well, that's not my motto, Mr. Host.
Is that so, Mary? Now, don't give me any of your lip tums.
I certainly won't give you any of my Liptons. If you...
And now, here's a word of advice, friends. If you should be invited to spend the weekend with a friend in the country, and he should wake you at midnight carrying a lantern and a shovel and invite you to go burying with him, make sure he doesn't mean burying with a U. And when I say you, I do mean you. Oh, by the way, this month's Inner Sanctum mystery novel is The Whistling Legs by Roman McDougall. Yes, and next week's Inner Sanctum story, directed by Hyman Brown, and brought to you by Lipton Tea and Lipton Soup. Next week's story is about a honeymoon couple. Funny kind of characters to be on this program, eh? Is that what you were thinking? Well, this couple finds a corpse right in the middle of their bed. And they can't ask the corpse to leave, not to its face anyway, because, you see, it has no face. Now it's time to close the squeaking door. Good night. Pleasant sleep.
Lipton Tea and Lipton Soup present Inner Sanctum Mysteries. Good evening, friends. This is your host of the Inner Sanctum. Welcome through the squeaking door. Well, I hope you've spent a nice, quiet week building up your nervous systems. You're going to need plenty of red corpuscles to digest tonight's gory little dish. What's that? Oh, you'd like to have a recipe. To a small quantity of apprehension, add a pinch of dismay and cook on a slow fire, adding dread and panic in appropriate quantity. Then throw in a dose of terror and a whiff of horror, and make it boil, brother. Make it boil.
Mr. Host, not a very appetizing dish. Let me give you my recipe.
All right, Mary.
Well, take equal parts of warmth, good cheer, and human comfort. Spice with a brisk flavor, and you have Lipton tea. Yes, and serve it only to people who know how to enjoy life. for Lipton's famous brisk flavor makes this tea a grand welcome drink. You see, brisk means that Lipton's tastes tangy and spirited, never flat or insipid. So, friends, I wish you'd try Lipton's, even if you're not a regular tea drinker. That brisk flavor is something very special. It's the reason why you'll like Lipton's.
Well, now, here's a personal question. How would you like to go on a honeymoon? Well, you're going on one whether you like it or not. Because tonight's story is called Till Death Do Us Part. It's an original radio play by Emil Tepperman. And our stars tonight are Ann Shepard and Larry Haynes. Just look at them. Joe and Nancy Page, married hardly 5 hours, and parked at the side of the road by the bank of the old mill stream, and whispering sweet nothings to each other, living in a fool's paradise.
Oh, gee, Nancy, it's wonderful to be married to you.
Oh, darling.
Gosh, if the other clerks at Scott's department store could see us now.
I don't want anybody to see us. I just want to be alone with you two for the rest of my life.
Gosh, baby, I hope you don't mind spending a honeymoon in a tourist cabin instead of a swanky hotel.
No, I love it this way. The stream rushing past, the moonlight shining on the bridge, and the woods all around. Joe, look, there's another car. They're parking on the bridge.
Well, he's turning his headlights out, too. They think they've got privacy because they can't see us parked here.
Joe, look. That couple is getting out of the car.
Yeah. We're walking the bridge, I guess. Wonder if this is their wedding night, too.
Oh, that's a gorgeous couple. Joe?
What?
The couple, they're acting very strange.
They're having an argument.
Joe, look what he just took out of his pocket.
Holy mackerel. A gun.
He's pointing the gun at her. Joe! He shot her in the face.
Holy mackerel. No, it can't be. It must be a gag of some kind.
But you saw the flashes when he fired the gun. And see how still she lies. Her body crumbled at his feet.
Yeah. He's picking her up. I bet he's going to throw her in the...
Don't let him.
Nancy, you push my hand down on the horn, he sees us.
He's coming across the bridge.
Heading for us.
What?
He knows we witnessed the murder. He's got to kill us, too.
Oh, quick, stop the car.
Stay here before he can turn the car around.
Then what'll we do?
Oh, we'll duck into the woods. Come on. Quick. Let's run.
My high heels. I can't run fast.
Oh, here's through these bushes. Get behind this tree.
He's getting out of his car. Joe, he has the gun. He means to kill us.
He's coming straight for this tree. He knows we're here. Nancy, we've got to run for our lives. Here, take my hand. Come on.
He's shooting at us.
Run, Nancy. Faster. Faster.
Joe, I'm tired. I can't go much farther.
We can't stop. He's close behind us.
He's gaining on us.
No, nobody's still after us.
Oh, let's stop. Ray.
No, not yet. I saw headlights up ahead. Maybe there's a road. We can only make it.
Joe, I'm through. I can't go anymore.
Nancy, look. Through the trees. The road. Come on, one last sprint. Here's the road. Let's stop.
I never thought we'd make it. Is he still after us? Coming through the woods?
I don't know. We'll stop the first car that comes along. Oh, now take it easy, baby.
I was just thinking of that poor girl lying dead on the bridge.
Our wedding night, too. Here comes the car. I'll stop it.
It isn't stopping.
He went right by.
Joe.
What?
I think I hear something behind us. In the woods.
Oh, it's only the wind and the trees.
Suppose he should suddenly step out of these woods with his gun.
Maybe he gave up. Maybe he went back to take care of that body.
Our car is there. With our marriage license in the glove compartment and the receipt Mrs. Swenson gave us for the cabin.
Yeah. He'll know all about us. Who we are, where to find us.
And we do not think about him except his face. The face of a murderer.
Come on, Nancy. I think we better start walking. We've got to get to the cabin and phone the police.
How much further, Joe?
Just around the bend.
I'd like to lie down and sleep right here on the road.
Fine way to spend a wedding night.
Darling, look. We're there. Swenson's cabin. See, they're all dark. Everybody's asleep.
We'll wake up Mrs. Swenson. Use her phone.
Joe.
What's the matter?
Look, in front of our cabin.
What? Hey. That's our car.
The murderer must have come here by another road to wait for us.
I don't see anybody around.
Maybe he's in the car.
Wait here, I'll go and see.
No, Joe, he'll kill us.
No, don't worry. We both saw his face. He's got to kill us both. Don't you see, baby, if I go over there alone, he won't show till he knows where you are.
But, Joe,
now, take it easy, will you? You stay back here in the shadows. It'll be all right. It's okay, Nancy. Car's empty.
Maybe he's hiding, and we're close by.
No, we must have skipped out.
Why did he bring our car back?
Well, he wanted to get away from the bridge. Don't you see, he must have dumped that girl's body in the river, and then he took our car away. No trace.
Joe, I'm scared. Maybe he's hiding inside the cabin waiting for us.
No, be a sap. One shot would wake up all the people in the other cabins, and Mrs. Swenson, too. You know, he'd never get away with it. Come on, we'll go into our cabin, get cleaned up, then we'll use the phone. The switch is right here. There. See? There's nobody hiding. Holy mackerel.
What is it?
Oh. Over there. On the bed.
What?
The girl's body. With her face shot away. Just like we saw on the bridge.
Imagine coming back to your cabin on your wedding night and finding a corpse on your bed. A beautiful corpse who'd had her face lifted without going to a beauty parlor. Don't worry, before the night's over, the murderer may have his face lifted, too, by a rope around his neck.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry for those two young people.
Oh, Mary, you're always feeling sorry for our characters. Why don't you sing a different tune?
Would you really like me to? Because I do know a different tune. I mean that new Lipton tea jingle. Like lots of folks, I've been hearing it on the radio this week, and, well, I'd kind of like to sing it myself. So, won't you help me out there on the organ, please? Sing a song of Lipton, T-E-A. Always brisk in flavor, B-R-I-S-K. Never wishy-washy, no, sirree. So sing a song of Lipton's and buy Lipton tea.
Very, very good, Mary. Why, that's the first time I felt like tapping my foot since I turned up my toes.
Well, folks, I don't sing too well, but you'll admit that the song has a real catchy tune. And you know, I like the part that goes, always brisk in flavor, B-R-I-S-K. But goodness, most of us have known for a long time that Lipton's has a brisk flavor. So, folks, listen for the song on your radio and see if you can't sing it better than I do.
Now, let's get back to that cabin. See how Joe and Nancy are getting along with their uninvited visitor, the corpse in their cabin. Yes, it's one of those times when two's company and three's a shroud. I wonder what they're going to do with her, don't you?
Now, listen, Nancy, we have to think this over. We're in a jam. For the love of Pete, Nancy, this is no time to faint.
Oh, darling, it's awful. Her face shot away.
Don't look at her. Here, sit down.
Joe, what do we do?
I don't know. I have to think. On our wedding night to have a thing like this happen.
Why did he leave her here?
To put us in a spot. The cops will never believe our story now. They'll think we killed her.
We? But, Joe, we never saw her before in our lives.
Nancy, we've got to get rid of her.
What?
Sure, we've got to take her back. Back to the bridge and dump her right back on the murderer.
No, no.
It's the only thing we can do. Suppose the cops come here and find her. They'll grill us for hours. They'll hold us for the inquest. It might take a week, 2 weeks. A fine way to spend a honeymoon in jail.
Oh, I never thought of that.
Sure, we've got to do it. We've got to take her back.
But that means we have to lift her up and carry her.
I'll carry her, baby. But you'll have to help.
Oh, no, I couldn't.
You've got to, honey.
What must I do?
Now, look. You go out and get the back door of the car open, and I'll bring her out.
Joe, they'll find us here with the body.
Quick. Throw the blanket over her. I'll see who it is.
I can't go near her.
Do as I say. Quick.
I'll try. Give me a minute.
Who is it?
It's I, Mrs. Swenson.
Mrs. Swenson. Have you got her covered up?
The blanket, it's too short.
Just a minute, Mrs. Swenson. Her feet are sticking out. Get those clothes out of the valise. Throw them on top of her.
That's the best I can do.
All right, sit on the bed in front of her feet.
Please hurry, Mrs. Hayes.
Coming, Mrs. Swenson. Everything okay, Nancy?
Yes, but I feel faint.
Oh, bite your lip. Do anything, but don't faint now. Good evening, Mrs. Swenson.
Good evening, Mr. Page. I hope I'm not intruding. I saw your light, so I knew you weren't asleep yet.
Oh, we were just going to sleep. Weren't we, Nancy?
Yes.
I should have thought you'd be asleep long ago. See, I brought you a jug of my own homemade apple cider. I'll put it right here, and some glasses, too.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Swenson.
That's awfully nice of you.
Oh, not at all. It's so nice to have a honeymoon couple. I wanted to do it earlier, but my heart was bothering me. I have a bad heart, you know.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry to hear that, Mrs. Swenson. Well, thank you. Thank you for everything.
Aren't you going to try my cider? I thought you'd like to drink a toast.
Well, we're not very thirsty right now, Mrs. Swenson. Are we, Nancy?
No. Of course not. Now I'll run right along and leave you both strictly alone.
Yes. Well, good night, Mrs. Swenson, and thanks again.
Good night, Mrs. Swenson.
Oh, you poor dear. You look all tuckered out sitting there on the bed. I bet you don't even know how to make up a bed. Here, I'll make it up for you.
Oh, no.
Well, it's the least I can do. Now you just sit over here on the chair.
No, please don't. Oh, why?
Well, she means, please don't bother.
Well, it's no bother at all. Oh, now look at all those clothes all thrown around. Oh! What's this?
We can explain everything, Mrs. Swenson.
Shot. She's been shot in the face. Murder.
No, please, Mrs. Swenson, it's not what you...
Murder.
No.
You're no honeymoon.
No.
You're murdering.
No, stop that.
Let me go.
Shut up. Stop that.
Joe, the cops are muttering her. Joe, your hands.
I'm just trying to stop the yelling. Please, Mrs. Swenson. Stop.
Joe, what happened?
I don't know. She just went limp and slid down on the floor. Mrs. Swenson. Mrs. Swenson, are you all right? Mrs.
Joe. What is it?
She's dead.
Joe. You killed her. You smothered her to death.
I'm a murderer. Me, Joe Page, a killer. We started out on a honeymoon, and now I'm a murderer. I'm a murderer. Isn't that a laugh?
Joe!
I was kind of dizzy for a second.
Please, darling. You look like a ghost. You're trembling.
Nancy, what are we going to do?
Are you sure she's dead?
Yeah. Look at her face. Sure she's dead. And that one on the bed. We're in a jam, Nancy. In a jam.
Darling, I wish I were dead, too.
They'll hold us for murder, Nancy.
But it was an accident. You didn't mean to kill Mrs. Swenson.
Yeah, but how will we ever prove we didn't kill the other one, too? We'll never be able to find that guy with the black road, so the cops will pin the rap on us.
Don't take me out of here. I can't stand it. Her on the bed. Mrs. Swenson on the floor. Oh, let's go way far away.
Run away?
Yes. Anything, but let's not stay here. I won't go to jail. I won't. Take me away.
Yeah, sure. Sure, we'll get out. We'll keep going. Nobody knows our names. They can't trace us.
No.
Come on. Get the clothes packed.
Joe, I can't close this valise.
I'll close it. You get the other one packed. And don't forget anything. Look under the bed.
Yeah.
Be sure we don't leave a single thing behind.
No, we mustn't leave anything behind. Everything's packed, Joe. Hurry now. Hurry.
Yeah, all right. I'll take the bags. You put the lights on.
Yeah.
And snap the catch. We'll lock the door. Hey,
What? What's wrong?
I just thought. Our fingerprints. All over the place.
What do we do?
Wait. Have to wipe them off. Off everything. Grab a towel. We'll wipe everything in sight.
Wiped everything, Joe, I think.
The bedstead.
Yeah?
The bathroom. The faucet.
Yeah.
The doorknobs. Dresses.
Yeah.
And the water pitcher.
Yes.
Well, I guess that's all. Let's go.
Joe, cider jug. We didn't wipe the cider jug.
Well, we didn't touch it.
I'll wipe it anyway.
Okay. Snap it up, will you?
Okay.
All right. Come on. Oh, I'll feel better in the car out on the road.
Do you think we've got anything?
I don't know. I can't think. I'm numb all over.
Oh, my darling.
Holy mackerel, Nancy. I'm a murderer. A killer running away. Oh, we shouldn't have done it. We shouldn't have run away.
Joe, it's not as if you killed her on purpose. It was an accident.
Nancy, do you realize you're married to a murderer?
No, it wasn't murder.
It was so easy. So easy to kill. I never thought it could be so easy. All I did was to hold my hand over her face.
Joe, please.
What time is it?
It's almost 2 o'clock. We've been driving for an hour.
And a cigarette?
Yeah.
I think there are some in the glove compartment.
Yeah, I'll get them. Joe.
What?
Our marriage license. It's gone.
What? You sure?
It's gone, Joe. It was right here.
The murderer. He took it.
Why? Why would he take our marriage license?
I don't know. I can't think straight anymore.
Joe, he knows our names. He knows everything about us. Darling, there's no use running away. He knows who we are. We'll always be at his mercy.
Oh, I feel all in. I can't drive anymore. I've got to rest and think.
Pull up at the side of the road. Look, see? Up ahead, a gas station close to the night. We'll park there.
Yeah. I wish I could sleep. I wish I could sleep for 100 years.
My poor Joe. Here, put your head on my shoulder.
First night of our honeymoon. And maybe the last.
Joe. Joe, it's 6 o'clock.
Oh. Hey, it's daylight.
Yeah.
Gosh, I slept all through the night.
I guess I fell asleep, too. Oh, it's chilly.
Yeah. I should have closed the windows. Gee, honey, you look pretty with your hair mussed up. Gosh, your hands are cold. Here, let me warm them.
This is our first morning together.
Yeah. First morning together. But this isn't the way I used to dream about it. Oh, baby, how'd we ever get in a mess like this? We're back where we were last night, the same jam. Nothing's changed. Those 2 corpses still in the cabin. What do we do?
Darling,
Let's not think about it for a while yet. Let's go find a place for breakfast. Our first breakfast together. After that, we'll go back to thinking about it. But at least let's have those few minutes of a sort of stay of execution.
Yeah, baby, okay.
Look, there's a place, a diner.
Yeah, but I haven't got much appetite.
What we both need is something hot.
You think there's an alarm out for us yet?
Darling, let's not think about it.
No other customers inside. That's great.
Good morning. You've been traveling all night?
Yeah, all night. Some scrambled eggs, please.
Right. That'll take a few minutes. That's all right. We'll wait. Well, I'll turn the radio up for you.
Friendly neighborhood station with the early morning local news. During the night, death came to Mrs. Hannah Swenson, whose tourist cabins are located on the Bay Park Highway. Mrs. Swenson's body was discovered by Oscar Jansen, the handyman, who was awakened by the sound of a car driving away from one of the cabins. Investigating, he found Mrs. Swenson lying on the floor of cabin 3. Dr. Macklin, who was summoned immediately, announced that Mrs. Swenson had died of a heart attack. He had been treated her for a severe heart ailment.
A heart attack, and I didn't kill her.
He didn't say anything about the other body.
Quiet.
The state police are anxious to contact a couple who occupied the cabin and who apparently left during the night. They are traveling in a blue four-door sedan, license number 8N1637. Their names are not known as yet, but if they should hear this broadcast, they are requested to call at the state police barracks.
Let's get out of here, Nancy.
State police are
Say, what about your eggs?
Can't wait. We're in a hurry. Come on, Nancy.
What does it mean? Why didn't you mention the other body?
It's a trap, honey. Get it? They're keeping mum about the girl's body.
No, Joe, I don't think so.
Well, what else could it be? We left 2 bodies there, didn't we?
Sally, stop the car, please. Maybe the real murderer was waiting close by all the time. Maybe after we left, he went in and took the girl's body away again.
I don't like it. I want to get away from here, far away.
Joe, wait. Look, darling, don't you realize you're not a murderer? You didn't kill Mrs. Swenson. It was a heart attack.
That's what they say. I say it's a trap. Let's get moving.
No, it's too late. Look.
State troopers.
Yeah, he's coming right over here.
Sure, he's got this license number. Well, baby, I guess our honeymoon's over.
You, Mr. Joseph Page?
Yeah.
You're Joe Page?
Yeah, that's right.
And you, lady, you're Nancy Page?
Yes?
Well, then, this belongs to you.
What? What is it?
Take it.
Hurry, July.
What? Where'd you get it?
One of our men happened to be cruising down by the old mill stream last night. Saw a fella get out of a roadster on the bridge carrying a girl's body. Fella dumped the girl over the rail, and our man went after him. They had a gunfight, and the fella got a slug through the heart. When we went to his car, we found this. On the back of it, you notice he wrote your license number.
Then you got the murderer?
Sure did. But we didn't recover the body of the girl. It was carried downstream. May take several days to find it.
Then we're not wanted for anything?
Well, your other folks were in Mrs. Swenson's cabin last night. We figure you left in a hurry. Kind of embarrassing to have a thing like that happen on your honeymoon, huh? Can't blame you.
Oh, we're free to go on our honeymoon?
Just come down to the barracks and sign a statement, and then you can be on your way.
Would you mind, officer? Just a few minutes. We want to go back in the diner for our honeymoon breakfast.
What's going on here? 2 measly murders. And a happy ending. I was hoping Joe and Nancy would end up in a cell with a warden asking them what they wanted for their last meal. What do I get instead? A wedding breakfast. The crowd down at the morgue are going to laugh at me for this. It won't be their last laugh either. No, they had that already. Yes, I have a feeling that somebody's been tampering with tonight's story. Was it you, Mary Bennett?
What? Why, that's plain silly. How can you suspect me of changing the story?
I guess not. Otherwise, when our little couple were so scared, they would have tried whistling in the dark.
Whistling?
Yes, whistling that new Lipton tea jingle. Mary?
Well, let me tell you that lots of people will be whistling and singing that Lipton jingle, and real soon, too, because it's got the kind of tune that everybody likes, just the way they like Lipton tea. So keep your ears open for that Lipton jingle, won't you? And remember, you just don't know how good tea can be till you know how good Lipton's is. So sing a song of Lipton's and buy Lipton tea.
And now a parting word of advice, friends. Our solution for eliminating crime. The perfect way to prevent any murderer from committing murder is to commit the murderer before he commits the murder. Oh, by the way, this month's Inner Sanctum mystery novel is The Whistling Leg by Roman McDougall. Yes, and next week's Inner Sanctum story, directed by Hyman Brown, and brought to you by Lipton Tea and Lipton Soup. Next week's story is so scary, it's going to freeze the airways. It's about a man who's dead, but he doesn't know it. And you know, there's only one man who can get away with that. His name? Why, of course, it's Boris Karloff. That's right. Boris Karloff will appear on Inner Sanctum next Tuesday night. So, if you're planning to drop dead, wait till Tuesday. We can use the publicity. And now it's time to close the squeaking door, so good night. Pleasant dreams.
Lipton Tea and Lipton Soup present Inner Sanctum Mysteries, starring Boris Karloff. Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum. This is your host. Welcome again through the squeaking door to another session of mystery, murder, and madness. Oh, excuse me if I don't get up, but I'm all worn out. Yes, I've had a hectic few days with an old friend who just blew into town. He's one of those earnest souls who insists on doing everything for himself. Consultations with the monument makers, the grave diggers, fittings at the coffin makers. Yes, quite a busy body. But then we only die once, you know. Our story is called The Corridor of Doom. And our star tonight is a man who gives even me the shakes. The famous star of stage, screen, and radio, Boris Karloff. Have you thought about death lately? Not the fact that it's inevitable, that it must come to all of us someday, but rather how it will come. Do you think of it as a sleep and a waking, of a sudden transition from one state of being to another, or to a state of non-being? John Clay was one of those people who never thought about it at all, until he found himself walking down that dim and endless passage which... But suppose we let Boris Karloff in the role of John Clay tell you about it himself. If your blood pressure will take it, put out the lights and come on a little trip down the corridor of doom.
When I woke up, I had no idea of where I was or how I'd gotten there. I was lying on a hard, white bed in a clean, white room. There was a dull pain in my abdomen. Touching it tentatively, I felt a bandage. So that was it. An operation. But for what? And where was I? At that moment, the door opened, and she came in. Good afternoon. Or is it evening?
Whichever you prefer. It doesn't matter.
My name's Clay. John Clay.
Yes.
And yours?
You can call me Nada.
Exactly. Where am I? In what hospital?
It has no name.
What? But that's ridiculous. I'd like to speak to Dr. Rogers. If you'll get him for me, please.
There is no Dr. Rogers. At least, not here.
Then who operated on me? And for what? Listen, I'm not a well man. I've a very bad heart. Will you get someone who can talk to me?
If you wish. I'll call Dr. Stone.
A chill crept through my bones. It wasn't cold. It was fear. Unreasoning and abysmal fear. The door opened again, and there stood a heavy-set man, his hair flecked with gray, and with him, my son-in-law, Alex Bartlett. Alec, I can't tell you how glad I am to see you.
Hello, Father.
But why are you standing out there? Why don't you come in?
Oh, no. No, I shouldn't advise it, Mr. Clay.
And why not? And why? Oh, was it you who operated on me?
Yes. I'm Dr. Stone.
Why wasn't Dr. Rogers called in? He's taken care of me for years.
There wasn't time. It happened during the night. Acute appendicitis. And even as it was...
Even as it was? What? And why are you dressed that way, Alec? All in black.
Well, it's customary. After all, you are my father-in-law.
Of course I am, but... Now, look, Alec. You've got to stop being so mysterious. And you know about my heart, what any sudden shock will do.
I don't think you need worry about it anymore, Mr. Clay. And as far as the mystery is concerned, this initial period of adjustment is always a little difficult.
Difficult? Do you realize what it's like, lying here helpless, completely isolated, as if I were all alone in the world? Or isn't there someone I can talk to? Some of the other patients?
Not just yet. When the time comes, you'll meet them.
But, look, Doctor, I can't stand much more of this. I can't. If I don't find someone who really cares about me, who'll treat me like a normal human being... My dog. How about my dog?
What do you think, Doctor? Yes, that's possible. We'll see what we can do, Mr. Clay. Come along, Bartlett. Goodbye, Father.
You'll be back, won't you, Alec?
I don't know. I'll try, but it's difficult. Very difficult.
Then don't go, Alec. Don't leave me here all alone. Come back. Come back. I waited and watched and waited. Then the door opened, and there was the doctor again. There was a small, thin-faced man with him this time, wearing the white coat of an orderly and carrying a black box with a handle. My dog. You brought my dog.
All right, Martin. Give it to him.
Yes, sir. Thank heaven, now at least. Come on, Carrie. Come on, boy. Get up. Wake up. Why, what's the matter? Carrie. He's not asleep. He's dead.
You wanted him, Mr. Clay.
But why didn't you tell me? When did he die? How?
How old was he?
11 and a half. Maybe 12.
Pretty old for a dog. That's probably why he could come.
What do you mean? What are you trying to do to me? Don't you realize I'm a sick man?
Easy, Mr.
I won't take it easy. I won't stay here another minute. I'm leaving right now.
Sorry, but I don't think we can permit it.
Oh, well, we'll see about that.
You're getting yourself all upset for no reason, Mr. Clay, making it very difficult for the rest of us. Martin, you'd better let me have some of that in that bottle there. About 10 cc's.
The red medicine?
Yes.
I don't want any medicine. I won't take it.
Now, please, Mr. Clay.
I won't, I tell you. No, I don't want the... It's awful. Salty. It tastes like...
Yes. But I think you'll find that it will make things much easier for you. Very much easier.
You're doping me up. that's what you're doing. Putting me to sleep. You think that when I wake up, I'll forget about everything. Yes, Mr. Clay. You'll forget about everything. Everything. I was somewhere deep down under the earth. It was a passageway, stone-flagged and with stone walls, and I was walking slowly down it in my bare feet. I could feel the chill of the cold stones through the thick layer of dust. The passageway stretched ahead of me, endlessly. And suddenly, I noticed that there were doors set into the walls on either side, closed doors. And on each door there was a name. Abel, Abercrombie, Abington. Where was I? What was this place? What was behind those awful, ominously closed doors? Something seemed to be drawing me on down the terrible passageway. Addison, Edgar, Allen. I could feel the cold creeping up my legs, higher and higher, my heart pounding faster and faster. And suddenly I knew where I was and where I was going. Knew what was waiting for me there ahead of me down the passage. No, exerting all my will, I turned, trying to go back. With a roaring in my ears, I was falling through the darkness. Falling. When I opened my eyes, I was in that cold, white room again, clutching the blankets with trembling hands.
How do you feel now, Mr. Clay?
You cried out, sir, as if... Oh, a dream. The most awful, horrible nightmare I ever had.
A dream? The doctor will be very interested. Would you care to tell me all about it?
Oh, I don't even want to think about it.
It was about your former life?
Former life?
Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I meant... Here, where are you going?
Get my clothes to get out of here. I won't stay here
But you
another
can't
minute.
go. You can't. Martin, help me.
Please, let don't you realize that if I do stay here, if I dream that dream again... Listen. I was in a passageway. An endless, eternal passageway like a corridor of doom. It stretched on and on to infinity with doors, closed doors on either side. And on each one of the doors in alphabetical order there was a name. The name of all those who had died since the beginning of time. I was walking down that corridor on my bare feet and... Why are you looking at me that way?
You mustn't talk about that. You mustn't, do you hear?
But you asked me...
You didn't dream that dream. You couldn't have. And you've got to get it out of your mind. We'll help you. We'll give you a massage. That should make you relax. The alcohol, Martin, right over there.
A massage, you think that'll help?
If it doesn't, we'll call Dr. Stone. Try something else. Martin.
I see. Now what? What are you staring at?
Your feet.
On the soles. Dust. Thick, gray dust. Dust. Like the dust in the passage. The corridor of doom. And that means... It wasn't a dream. It means... I was really there.
Dirty feet on those nice, clean sheets. No wonder our friend the nurse seemed so upset. Or was that the reason? Maybe she was just disappointed that he still hadn't told her about his operation. Yes, that always has them in stitches. Great big stitches. Like the ones they take in a shroud. Well, now I think it's about time to take another little walk. Yes, down the corridor of doom with our star, Boris Karloff. And by the way, don't be concerned about getting too tired, because you'll only have to walk one way. That's the nice part of a trip like that. You don't have to worry about coming back.
I lay there, staring down at my feet. No, it had not been a dream. But there, on my feet, was the thick, heavy dust from the corridor of doom. I had been there, walking down its awful silence, not in my mind, but in the flesh. My heart clenched like an icy fist that I threw the blankets aside, started to get up.
Mr. Clay, what are you doing? Where are you going?
Let me go.
But you can't get up. You can't leave.
Oh, let me go.
Martin, quick, help me.
Please, Mr. Clay. For heaven's sake, let me go. Don't you realize what this means? If it wasn't a dream, and if I stay here, go down to that horrible place
We've got to
again...
make him quiet down. Some more of that medicine, Martin. Another 10 cc.
Right. Oh, no more of that. Here, Mr. Clay.
You must take it. You must. It will make you sleep. Sleep so soundly that you won't be able to go down there again.
No, but... All right. Give it to me.
Here. You stay here, Martin. I'll go get Dr. Stone and tell him.
Better, Mr. Clay? I don't know. Color. Dark red. Taste. It's like...
Yes, I know.
And it makes me sleepy. My eyes get heavy and... Have you been here for a long time, Martin?
No, not long.
What is it like outside of this room?
It's strange. Like no place else.
And the other patients, what are they like?
They're strange, too.
Listen, Martin. I'm a rich man. You're the only friend I've got here. You've got to help me.
Whether you're rich or poor doesn't matter. As for helping you, that's what I'm here for.
You've got to stay here. Watch me. Every minute. My heart. I don't think it'll stand much longer. My first sensation was one of cold, numbing cold, creeping up my limbs. I reached for the blankets, couldn't find them. And I opened my eyes, and I was there again, back there in that awful endless passage, that corridor of doom. The same stone wall, stone floor, covered with a thick layer of dust. The same doors with a name on each one, on both sides of me. But now I was up to the bees. That one there, Barbara, next with Babbitt, and then Backer. I tried to cry out, but I couldn't utter a sound. I tried to stop, check myself. My muscles didn't respond. Slowly, heavily, I continued walking on down that endless passage. Past Badger, Baffin, Bagley, past the bees and towards the seas. Towards a door with my name on it. My heart pulsed, pounding with terror. My breath rasped in my throat. Convulsively, I clutched at the walls, forced myself completely around. Then, as if I were fighting against a roaring gale, I drove myself back. One step I took, 2, 3, then I stumbled. I was falling again, falling through darkness, complete, absolute, unending. Even before I opened my eyes, I knew where I was. Back in my room, the sheets crumpled in my sweating hands. I lay there for a moment. I knew that this was my last chance. Slipped out of bed, tiptoed to the door of the room, opened it a crack, and peered out, a hospital corridor. And sitting at a desk halfway down it, the nurse. Could I slip past her? Then on a table next to the door, I saw the telephone. A telephone! Now I could get help. Meet someone who would save me, take me out of this place. Picking it up quietly, I dialed my daughter's number, Alec Bartlett's wife.
Hello?
Jane? Oh, thank heaven.
Hello?
Jane, it's your father. Listen, you've got to help me. You've got to come and get me. I'm at the hospital. Alec knows where.
Hello, is anyone there?
Yes, can't you hear me? Didn't you hear what I said? It's your father, and Jane! I'm not. I heard her, but she couldn't hear me. Something wrong with the phone, her phone. I've got to get hold of somebody, but who? Dr. Rogers? Oh, might be out. If they come in when I'm phoning. Oh, I know, of course.
Police headquarters, Ryan speaking.
Hello, police. This is John Clay of Riverside Road. I'm at the hospital. I don't know where.
Hello?
Can't you hear me, officer? For heaven's sake, listen. It's a matter of life and death. John Clay at a hospital. My son-in-law, Alec Bartlett, can tell you where.
Hello?
Officer, listen. Don't hang up. Don't. Officer, hello.
Anything the matter, Mr. Clay?
Dr. Stone, your telephone, there's something wrong with it.
No, Mr. Clay. There's nothing wrong. Not with the telephone.
But I tried to make 2 calls. 2 different numbers, and...
I know. And you should have known. Nurse, all of them.
Should have known what? Why couldn't they hear me when I could hear them? Why?
Yes, Dr. Stone?
Will you put Mr. Clay back into bed?
No.
I'm awfully sorry, sir. I only went out for a minute. Come on, Mr. Clay.
No,
please.
leave me alone, please.
Mr.
Let go.
Clay,
No.
No use struggling. You know that, don't you?
Yes, I know. Doctor, I won't have to go back down there again, will I? Down to the corridor?
That's not up to me. All right, nurse. I think we're ready for another dose. The final one.
Yes, Doctor.
No, doctor. No, not that red medicine. Not again.
I'm sorry, but you've had a lot of time. All the time we can give you.
All right, Mr. Clay.
No, I won't
Here.
take it. You know what it means, Doctor. I go back down there again to the corridor. It'll be to the letter C. To the place where my name is.
If he won't take it by himself, perhaps you'd better help her, Martin.
Yes, sir.
No,
Here.
I won't. Again, I knew where I was before I opened my eyes. I could feel the dust under my bare feet, and through the dust, the biting chill of the cold stones. I was there, back in the corridor, walking down its silent length past the blank, closed doors. For the names on the doors, now they were all C's. Cabot, Cadden, Cahoon. On I walked, the beating of my heart, the pounding of my pulse loud in my ears. On down the passage, no longer even trying to fight against what I knew was a death threat. On past Cameron, Chelsea, Chiswick, and then, suddenly, terribly, one door. A door with my name on it, gaping, waiting for me. I tried to stop, to turn, but my legs carried me forward. I was but 2 doors away. I could see into it now, see that it contained nothing. Absolutely nothing, not even a coffin. Just stone walls and a flat stone slab. I was turning to step over the threshold. When in a last convulsive effort, merciful heaven, help me, save me.
All right, Martin. Pick him up.
Yes, sir.
Is it all over? Hello, Bartlett. In at the death, eh? I'll see if there's any pulse, of course, but I should think it is all over.
It is stone, but not the way you think.
What? Clay. He's not dead. No thanks to you. All right, get him up, both of you. Here, Mr. Clay, let me help
It's
you.
all right, Martin. I'll be fine from now on.
But how?
Don't look so surprised, Alec. Mr. Martin is a detective. I hired him some time ago. You see, I had a feeling that something was wrong when that railing broke accidentally, and I took that bad fall. So I decided I should investigate.
You can't prove it. You can't prove anything.
The first results of Martin's investigation showed me what bad financial shape you were in. And it was then that I realized that you had actually been trying to murder me to get hold of my money. So I faked that story of having a very bad heart.
You mean it?
I thought it would give you the idea of trying something more subtle and less dangerous. And it certainly did.
But you still can't prove anything, not a thing.
No, don't you worry about that. Don't forget. Come back here, Bartlett.
You'll never have a chance to prove it.
Come back, Bartlett.
Oh, you shot him, killed him.
Well, I couldn't have. I fired up in the air to get him to stop.
Come on.
I don't understand. Yeah, got a mark on him. But he is dead.
He was the one who had the bad heart. That's what gave me the idea of pretend. Good heavens, look.
At what?
This hallway was supposed to be the corridor of doom. When I reached the door with my name on it, I was supposed to die. Look. Look at the name on that door there. The one right next to him.
Bartlett. His name. So what?
Nothing, Martin. Nothing at all.
Now, where do you think old Dr. Stone got the idea for that little alphabetical graveyard? That's right, for me. Huh? You don't believe me? Then come on home with me tonight, and I'll show you the one in the cellar of my house. What's more, I'll show you a door and a neat stone slab with your name on it. And now a word of advice. If you should wake up tonight with a sudden chill, find yourself walking barefoot down a dusty stone corridor with doors on both sides of it, don't get excited. Just insist on a doom with a view. Next week's story is about women. Yes, 2 women who like to be treated rough. Choke 'em to death, shoot 'em, murder 'em. They'll love you for it. And who do you think is going to be their boyfriend? That's right. Boris Karloff. Boris Karloff will be with us again next week, because who else could love such women? So, if you're in a tender mood, tune in next Tuesday. Until then, good night. Pleasant dreams.